I'm here at the overseas call centre of a large insurance company. With me is customer service team leader Mr. Volty. Mr. Volty, how easy is it to provide great insurance service to your customers?
Well, we're on another continent. You can never get through. We've no idea who you are, and we're only allowed to work from a script with the information on the screen in front of us. Frankly, you'd be better with High House.
High House Insurance, your local experts. High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. For a free, no-obligation quote, call Chelsea 606 552. High House, local, reliable insurance. High Street, Chelsea.
Welcome back to Manhood Internet Radio, the station that cares. Right, in this week's programme we have What's On, our weekly look at what's going on in and around the area for the coming week. We've also got a new item this week, which is a quiz with Kevin Noble. He's a well-known local quizmaster, and he'll be setting you some questions that I don't imagine will be very easy, but there you go. We also have our gardening section with Jill Osbourne from Odies Gardens, and a couple of recipes from Keithy's Kitchen, a little bit of music, and of course the weather. So here we go. We're going to start off now with What's On. We start on Wednesday the 24th of February. There's an exciting painting demonstrations in acrylics by Jerry Ferronda, and that's at the Chelsea Town Hall, 7 p.m. Tickets for that are £4.50, and that's an art stream event. On Thursday the 25th, Chelsea Cinema Club is showing A Walk in the Woods, and this stars Robert Redford and Nick Nolte and Emma Thompson. That starts at 7:30 p.m. and the tickets for that are £5. On Friday the 26th of February, well, we've got a busy old time there, there's free computer tasters for absolute beginners at the Chelsea Library. Now you can sign up for one of these fun and friendly one-off taster sessions between either 10:30 a.m. or 12:30 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. and you just need to phone the library on 602 096 and find out more information about. There is limited space available, so you need to book quickly on that one. Now, at the Fisherman's Joy on Friday the 26th, all you can eat Indian buffet, £10 a head. How bad is that? That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? And that's from 6 till 9 p.m. in the restaurant. And if you'd like more information on that, you can phone 606 749. And also on Friday the 26th, the U3A have their monthly meeting in the Chelsea Centre at 2:30 p.m. and the speaker is John Forster, and he'll be talking about metal detecting. And further still, on Friday the 26th, there's a bangers and mash and quiz night at the Chelsea Golf Club, and this starts at 7:30 p.m. and is £5 per person. Now on Saturday the 27th, the Cat and Kitten Rehoming Day at the Cat and Rabbit Rescue Centre in Choler Lane, Tiddlesham, and that's from 12 noon until 2 p.m. So if you're looking for a cat or a kitten, that's the place to go. And also on the 27th, there's a fish and chip supper and jazz night, and this is at the Town Hall, and it's an evening of musical entertainment from the Miller's Men live jazz band, and they're very good. I've seen them, and so I could vouch for them, and so you should get along there. That's if it's not already sold out. It's a very popular event, that one. And on Sunday the 28th, well, there's live music at the Seal with the jazz and all that. That starts at 3 p.m. But before that, there's the Spirit FM's Battle of the Boozers, and the Seal tends to do quite well in that, so you can have a listen to that or get along there and take part. And also on Sunday the 28th of February, there's the Respite Tea, and this is at the Chelsea Methodist Church, and that's from 3 until 4:30, and that's aimed at those who might not see other people over the course of a normal weekend, and lifts are available for that. Now on Saturday the 5th of March, there's a cabaret night, and that cabaret night is in aid of St Wilfrid's Hospice, which is, we all know, is a very worthwhile local charity, and all proceeds from the night will go to St Wilfrid's. And this is taking place in the Town Hall and starts at 7:30, or the doors open at 7:30. You need to get your tickets very quickly. They're selling out fast, only a couple of weeks to go, and there's not too many tickets left. But if you want some tickets for that, you can get yourself down to High House Insurance in the High Street and see Neil, and he'd be glad to sell you some tickets for that event. And it's a very, very worthwhile evening. And we've got some extra guests coming along this year, so there's a full night's entertainment on the cards for that. And so we go across now to Bracklesham and the Witterings and see what's going on around that area. And over at the Bracklesham Barn, well, on a Monday in the mornings from 10 until 12:30, there's short mat bowls, and then there's also in the community room Ducklings Parent and Toddler Group, and that's from 9:30 until 11:30 a.m. And then in the evening, once again in the community room, from 7 until 8:30 p.m. there's yoga with Elaine. On Tuesdays from 9:15 until 12:15 there's the Table Tennis Club, and that's a drop-in and play session, adults only, and that's £2. And once again there's yoga with Elaine from 10 until 11, and in the evening is Pilates with FitJoy, and that's 7:30 until 8:30. On Wednesdays there's belly dancing, and that's from 1 until 2 p.m. I always laugh at this, I don't know why. But it seems a strange thing for a local village. Anyway, I'm sure it's great fun. So there's belly dancing from 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. And then in the evening there's Zumba with Louise, and that's from 6:30 until 7:30 p.m. And then from 8 till 9 there's a sweat zone exercise class, and that's £2 for that. Also from 9 on a Wednesday from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. there's motorcycle training, but that needs to be pre-booked, so you need to get onto that one. And from 11 till 12 p.m. there's Gyrokensis with Jen, and that's every 2 weeks that's on. On Thursdays, well, we got the Busy Bugs Toddler Gym, and that's 9:15 until 12:15. That should tire the little ones out and give the mums a bit of a chance for a break in the afternoon. And from 2 until 4 there's the Thursday group, and 4:30 until 5:30 the Kids Art Group with Anita. On Fridays from 9:15 until 10:15 there's Vinyasa Flow Yoga with Lou, and that starts in February, so it started now. And from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. there's short mat bowls. And on Sundays from 10:15 a.m. until 12:15 the Windrush Church meets at the Bracklesham Barn. And that's about it for what's on for this week. We'll see what we can find for next week. Now, for those of you that don't live in Selsey, I'd just like to explain, down at East Beach we have a pond, and every year we have swans come down there and they mate, and hopefully they usually get 5 or 6 cygnets, and those cygnets wander from the pond into the garden of the house that adjoins the pond area, and they wander backwards and forwards, and they're a very popular sight. Unfortunately, as nature would allow, they don't always all make it, and for whatever various reasons, usually the foxes that manage to get them when they're young, but sometimes there have been terrapins in the pond, and those have been known to get the very young ones. But natural predators there are, and of course unfortunately we have to accept that these things happen. But having said that, this year out of I believe 7 cygnets, 3 survived, and we had 3 cygnets of quite a good size. You know, these were big birds. They were almost verging on adults, and probably 9-10 months old. Sadly, yesterday something got hold of them, and one of them died, and one was in a pretty bad state. Now, reports have it locally that it didn't seem like it was a fox this time, but the damage was probably caused by dogs. Now, what is the matter with a dog owner that lets a dog do something like that to a bird? It's bad enough everywhere you go in Selsey. There's dog mess everywhere, along the seawall. I took my family with their young daughter in a pushchair yesterday along the seawall and up through the village and back. And when we got back, we had to hose the wheels off on the pushchair because there was dog muck all over it. It's disgusting, and I can only say that it's nearly as disgusting as the owners of the dogs that allow them to do it and don't pick it up. Not all dog owners are bad, some of them are very responsible, but boy do we seem to have a share of irresponsible ones. If they were responsible for the death of that swan because their dog attacked it, well, they ought to be bloody ashamed of themselves. That's all I can say, and I'll let the matter rest there. Right, now, moving on. This week we've got a new item, and that's a quiz. And so this should test your brains. And we go across to the guy that's going to be setting the questions every week, and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself. So over to you, Kevin.
Right, hello, my name is Kevin Noble and I'm a local pub quiz master. I've been doing pub quizzes in Sussex for almost 30 years now, so I've got a little bit of experience. And I've been asked by the gentleman of this radio station if I could do a weekly set of questions. So what I'm going to do is a set of just 5 questions, but there is a connection, so we're going to call it Kevin's connection. And the connection is between all the answers connects to a certain, what is the connection? So I'll give you an example this week. So the example is, if the answers to the questions were, for example, Henry VIII, John Constable, Christopher Columbus, a nurse, and the Khyber Pass, the connection is Carry On films, because Carry On Henry, Carry On Constable, Carry On Up the Khyber. So you're looking for the connection as well as finding the answers to the questions. Okay, so here we go then with this week's quiz. I'll give you 5 questions, what's the connection? And the first question, question number 1, which National Hunt horse racing track is located between Chichester and Arundel? Question number 2, which pop star, known by a 4-letter stage name, had a hit in 1994 with Kiss from a Rose, and he was married to the model Heidi Klum until 2014. So what is the name of that pop star? Question number 3, which actor played the part of Uncle Albert in Only Fools and Horses, famous for his don't mention or went during the war? Question number 4, who painted the famous Monarch of the Glen, which depicts a red deer stag completed in 1851? So who was the artist? And question number 5, a literature question, what was the name of the farm in George Orwell's Animal Farm? That's your 5 questions, but what you're looking for as well as the answers is a connection between the answers, and we'll give the answers next week.
And as Kevin quite rightly says, we give the answers out next week, and we'll also put them on the website, which is www.manhoodradio.com.
Last year I learned to cry again, and it felt good. Tears rolled down my face again, like I always knew they should. 'Cause I'd battled things up for so long, I'd become numb. Emotions haven't flowed this way for me for so long, way too long. Today I've turned a page, and the past is over. Myself again, and I'd forgotten what that's like. Happy, sad, wonderful, amazing, I'll bring tears to my eyes. The fears that held me back for so long, they've all gone now. Opened up my eyes wide today, and I saw the world. The sun, the rain, the clouds in the sky, it's like Hollywood. love again. I guess I always could. Open my heart to someone again. It'll feel so good. Each day something makes me cry again. Reach out, make me want to try again, and feel the blood rushing through my veins. Make my heart ache that way for someone again. And it feels so good. And it feels so good. Yes, it feels so good.
That's a lovely song there from Aldingbourne singer-songwriter Jonathan Leahy. And Jonathan can be seen at the upcoming Cabaret Night, which is on at the Town Hall on the 5th of March, as part of the duo Small Talk. And welcome once again to Keithy's Kitchen. Well, our first recipe this week is teriyaki chicken with sesame noodles. And this is what we need. 4 boneless chicken breasts, about 175 grams each, with or without the skin, depending on your preference. We also need 4 tablespoonfuls of bottled teriyaki sauce, and some peanut oil or corn oil, some cucumber fans for garnish, and we need some sesame noodles, about 250 grams of dried thin buckwheat noodles, 1 tablespoonful of toasted sesame oil, 2 tablespoonfuls of toasted sesame seeds, and 2 tablespoonfuls of finely chopped fresh parsley, and some salt and pepper. And this is what we do. Using a sharp knife, score each chicken breast diagonally across 3 times and rub all over with teriyaki sauce. Now set those aside to marinate for at least 10 minutes, but if you give them a little bit longer, it'll be marinated all the better. Now when you're ready to cook the chicken, preheat the grill to high, bring a saucepan of water to the boil, add the buckwheat noodles and boil for about 3 minutes, or according to the packet instructions, or at least until they're soft. Drain and rinse them well in cold water to stop them cooking, and remove the excess starch, then drain again. Lightly brush the grill rack with oil, add the chicken breast skin side up, that's if you've left the skin on, and brush again with a little extra teriyaki sauce. Now grill the chicken breast for about 4 inches from the heat, and brushing occasionally with extra teriyaki sauce for about 15 minutes, or until cooked right through and the juices run clear. That's very important, that. And meanwhile, heat a wok or large frying pan over a high heat, add the sesame oil and heat until it shimmers. Add the noodles and stir around to heat through, then stir in the sesame seeds and the parsley, and season with salt and pepper. And to serve, all you do is transfer the chicken breast to the plates, add a portion of noodles to each, and garnish with the cucumber fans. Well, that's fairly simple and straightforward, isn't it? And that's a very tasty dish. Teriyaki chicken with sesame noodles. And our second recipe for this week is pasta with chicken and feta cheese. Yes, it does sound nice, doesn't it? You're right. Right, this is what we need, and this will serve for 2 tablespoonfuls of olive oil, 450 grams of skinless boneless chicken breasts cut into thin strips, 6 spring onions chopped, 225 grams of feta cheese diced, 4 tablespoonfuls of chopped fresh chives, some salt and pepper for seasoning, and 450 grams of dried garganelli tomato focaccia to serve. And this is what we do. Heat the olive oil in a heavy base frying pan, add the chicken and cook over a medium heat and stir in frequently for 5 to 8 minutes, or until golden all over and cook right through. Add the spring onions and cook for a further 2 minutes, and then stir in the feta cheese into the pan with half the chives and season with salt and pepper. Meanwhile, bring a large heavy base saucepan of lightly salted water to the boil, add the pasta, return to the boil and cook for 8 to 10 minutes, or until tender but still firm to the bite. sort of a little bit al dente. Drain well, then transfer to a warm serving dish. Now spoon the chicken mixture onto the pasta, toss lightly and serve immediately. And then you can garnish that with the remaining chives and accompanied by tomato focaccia. Nice and simple, lovely tasty dish. Alright, we'd like to welcome back now Jill Osbourne. And Jill's our gardening expert, and she's going to be telling us about planting bare root plants. Jill.
Thank you, Keith. February is a really good time to be thinking about bare root plants. This means plants without soil or a pot. Purchased in this way, they are usually much cheaper. You can buy roses, trees of all sorts, shrubs and fruit bushes, hedging and perennials. I recommend ordering from a reputable source, as there are new regulations in force with plants supplied from other countries. Plant licenses must be shown. The powers that be are cracking down on non-licensed goods, as they may be carrying harmful diseases, so beware. They may be cheap, but what cost to our woodlands and native plants? Think sudden oak death and ash dieback. When your plants arrive, unwrap them at once, place into a deep container full of water. Then, if the ground is not favourable for planting, dig a trench and put the plants in and refill with soil, and keep watered until the planting place is ready. Alternatively, pot up into pots of suitable size until the ground is ready, i.e. not frozen or waterlogged. When you are ready to plant the plant, dig the hole bigger all round than the open root system. Fill the bottom with some well-rotted compost or manure, depending on what you are planting. Add some bone meal or grow more. If you have dogs, they cannot resist the smell of bone meal and will dig the plant up. Now, if you are planting a tree, and all trees will need some support to start with, knock into the ground on the prevailing wind side a stake. Doing it first will mean that you don't ram the pole through the roots. Now carefully spread out the roots and refill the hole. As a rule of thumb, always plant at the same level as it was planted in the nursery bed. You will see a mark on the stem system. Once the hole is full, use the heel of your boot or shoe to carefully press down the soil to firm up the plant and also remove any air pockets from around the roots. If it is a tree or shrub that has a tree stake, now tie the plant in. I use purpose-purchased tree ties, soft plastic ones. Just a diversion about these. The stem is what will swell as it grows, not the pole. So you have the tight loop round the pole and the buckle around the stem so you can release it as it expands. If you need to nail the tree tie to the stake, stop it slipping, do so now. Now give the plant a really good drink, even if the soil is moist. That way it settles the remaining soil around the roots. If you have very free draining soil, I wish I had, I'm on clay, use a large plastic bottle with the bottom cut off. Push the neck end into the soil above the root system. That way, through its first year of life, when it will need care and water, you can pour a gallon into the bottle directly where it's needed. If to you that is unsightly, make a reservoir with the soil, i.e. a lip round the plant with the same size as the root system, and the water that is then watered will go to where it's needed. Please, not little and often. A good drink once or twice a week, if it's very hot and dry, a couple of gallons at a time. Ericaceous plants like blueberries would benefit from their special compost in the planting hole and not manure. They are lime haters, and manure is often treated with lime to keep it sweet as it rots. Hedges are really economical grown this way. You can buy all sorts of native plants known as whips to form really dense hedges. They are planted in a zigzag pattern in a trench. The treatment of the soil is the same. Manure the bottom, grow more or bone meal added, and then the roots planted in the trench, refilled and firmed, and finally a good water in. Fruit trees and bushes can be planted in the ground or large plots. The smaller perennials I tend to pot up and grow on a little. They are better established in pots and the root system starts to grow. Here is a plug for a nursery. Beth Chatto Nursery in Essex. I've had some special plants from her. They arrived bare-rooted, wrapped in newspaper cuffs in a plastic bag for each one, then in a box of wood shavings. Perfect plants and so well packed. Check out her website. Very easy to use. I was hesitating then as I thought not everyone would have a computer. Silly me, they are listening to this over the net. Happy gardening.
Well, thank you for that, Jill. I won't show my wife that because otherwise she'll be sending off the plants. Well, we look forward to seeing you again next time.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you. And now, just so you know what kind of weather you're going to be out there doing the gardening in, here's a look at the weather for the coming week. Well, Monday, it's a 40% chance of rain on Monday, but fairly mild, 10 degrees, and the wind at 17 miles an hour from the north-northwest. Tuesday, well, only a 30% chance of rain on Tuesday. Temperature dropping a degree or so down to about 9, and the wind's also dropping a couple of miles an hour down to about 15, but coming around from the north. Wednesday, well, Wednesday should be dry, and temperature of 9 degrees, and the wind speeds dropping right down to 9 mile an hour, so that should be a bit more pleasant. Thursday, well, Thursday should be sunshine, and the winds at 14 miles an hour, and a temperature of 8 degrees, so that Thursday should be a really nice day, for this time of year of course. Friday, well, there's a slight chance of a shower on Friday, but not too much. Temperature dropping to 7 degrees, so that's the coolest day of the week, and the winds picking up to 14 miles an hour. Now on Saturday should be dry, with a temperature of about 8 degrees, but it might feel considerably cooler because the wind will be coming round from the east and picking up to 27 miles an hour. So Saturday could be a blustery and fairly cold day. And that's about it for this week. Now, before I go this week, I'd like to put out a plea for assistance, because here at Manhood Internet Radio, we've tried to expand and cover the whole of the peninsula, and we need your assistance to do so. What we really need is people to give us information. Now, if you would like to come on and be part of the show and record your own stuff, that's fine. We don't have a problem with that, and we'll be more than happy to train you in the fairly minor technical aspects of it. But if you'd like to be part of the show, and you live in Donington or you live in Witterings or anywhere on the peninsula, we need to know what's going on in your area. So if you'd like to record it and send it to us, or you can email it to us if you'd like, and we'll make sure that you either get a mention or that you give them the opportunity to present your own part, and that way we hope we'll gather information for the whole of the peninsula and not just the bits that we're doing at the moment. So if you've got something going on in your area that you'd like us to know about, please get in touch with us, and you can do that by either texting us on 07551 93019, or you can email us at manhoodinternetradio@gmail.com, or you can look on our Facebook page, which is Manhood Internet Radio, and leave us a message on there. Right, well, that's it for this week. It just leaves me to say thank you to our producer John Fletcher, to our contributors Jill Osbourne and Kevin Noble. This is Keith Barnes saying thanks for joining us once again. See you again next week. Bye for now.